Hi folks, I'm Arkush for ChicagoSunTimes.com. As we wrap up the Chicago Bears 2014 season, and certainly the loss to the Minnesota Vikings on the final Sunday of the season, disappointing, but not the news really of the hour or the moment. It was what happened on Black Monday, the firings of both general manager Phil Emery and head coach Mark Trestman. I think the firing of Mark Trestman was certainly a foregone conclusion over the last 3, 4, 5 weeks of the season as things began to snowball in the 5-game losing streak the Bears finished on. Phil Emery, on the other hand, it appears, in what we heard from George McCaskey and Ted Phillips on Black Monday, they tried to find a way to resolve and save that situation. In the end, they just couldn't. The combination of the hiring of Mark Trestman, the contract to Jay Cutler, and the lack of a bounty of talent reaped in the draft in recent seasons was enough that they just said, we have to have a complete organizational change. Now, what surprised a lot of people watching the situation very closely was that Ted Phillips, the president of the team, remains apparently very active in the football operation and will be working in hand with George McCaskey to oversee the hiring of a new GM and a new coach. They will have help, of course. They brought in Ernie Accorsi, a longtime NFL executive with great success in his past, former general manager of both the Baltimore Colts before they moved to Indianapolis and the Cleveland Browns. His best success as the general manager of the New York Giants for a decade that culminated in their 2007 Super Bowl and also got them a lot of the talent that won another Super Bowl 2 years later. So the bottom line is they now have a veteran NFL observer in Accorsi who will advise them on putting together the short list of the best candidates for both the GM and the head coach's job. The issue, though, is who will pull the trigger on that hiring. The hope for many was that Ernie Accorsi would do it with a strong recommendation to George McCaskey. What was said at the Black Monday press conference is it will be Ted Phillips hand in hand with George McCaskey doing the final hiring, making the final decision. That does leave some concern, as it is Ted Phillips who's overseen the hiring of Phil Emery and Mark Trestman, as well as other issues that have not gone so well for the ball club in recent seasons. So the bottom line, the reaction I'm getting from insiders around the league, that George McCaskey has moved smartly here. He needed to get a clean sweep. He did that. It had to be difficult. The team will eat a great deal of salary, as much as $14 to $16 million for their fired front office and coaching personnel. But the bottom line is they'll have a fresh start. Also, he's getting high marks for tabbing Accorsi. There were options of NFL veterans to bring in. Ernie Accorsi, one of the better choices. He oversaw a search for general manager in North Carolina with the Carolina Panthers just 2 seasons ago that netted then Dave Gettleman. In Gettleman's first 2 seasons as GM of the Panthers, they now have back-to-back playoff appearances for the first time in franchise history. Hopefully he will find candidates for the Bears that can be as successful. Next question now is to watch the short list of GM candidates and head coaches as they come through Hallis Hall. We will have that for you here regularly right here at ChicagoSunTimes.com, as we do all the best sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.